How to change the alpha? Okay, I can't. Never mind. Okay. I'm dropping frames already. Hope that's not going to be an issue. I just need to check some stuff. Alt Control numpad. Okay. That's nothing. It's my editor. No hand camera. Oh, I need to get rid of those. Hide that. Put that on. And also hide that, but I'm not using my hand camera. Okay. Here's hoping this is actually going to work properly, because this scene actually uses quite a bit of GPU when everything's animated. But we should be okay. Cool. So sorry, I'm just getting used to my streaming thingy. Okay, cool. So this is the scene that we're going to be working on. This is mostly me playing around with Clixels. I'll actually open up Clixels here. Clixels is this Unity plugin. Let me zoom this in a bit. What it allows you to do is model shapes in Unity using these, so it's like a volumetric object, so you have like spheres and cubes and cylinders, and they have a bit of a blobby aspect to them because they're not like 3D models the way you'd use them in Blender, so they're not polygons, they're actually like a volume of space, and what's nice about that is that you can have them positive or negative, so they can sort of eat in and cut into each other. So I do have that plugin linked in the description. Like beta version is free. You can use that, or you can go to the Unity Asset Store and get the more complete version. It's about €26 if you wanna pick that up. The other thing I'm using that's a bit more expensive for the full thing is Renoise. This is music software. I should actually probably open that up so I can. Do I actually have it installed here on this computer? Yes, I do. Renoise is music software, so it's a tracker. So if you've ever used something like LSDJ or did my thing stop? Please tell me the thing didn't stop. No, it's still running. Okay, I'm not sure what happened on my laptop. So yeah, if you ever use a tracker like LSDJ or Fast Tracker or any of those things, this is very similar. It's just a little bit more of a digital audio workstation. So you have like a proper mixer. You can import like VSTs. You've got a lot of stuff that can work with this. And the track I'm using, or that I made, here is Dance Machine. Dance Machine.zip is the one. So I don't want to re-download it, but I am going to add that to the description as well. Real quick. Oop, not that one. Edit. The track. Control V. So in there you've got a bunch of source files for the music that I made. This is. Oh, hi Caramel. Yeah, so the music I made with Renoise. You can use it demo for free, I think, but otherwise actually buying it's a bit more expensive. I'm not sure how much it costs these days. Order a license. It's €70. I bought it a while ago. I think it's pretty good. Try it out for yourself to decide whether you want that or not. But I did add in the description a link to this Unity package, which is at an address that's in the description below, and it's files.spaceshipsinspace/renoiser.unity package. And what that does is it reads a Renoise project, so one of these, and then it allows Unity to know what note has been played on what track at what time. And I think I have downloaded the track itself. Yeah, it's over here, Dance Machine, dancemachine.xrns. So this is the track itself. You can give it a bit of a listen. So it's got a bit of like a funky little bop. So this is the track I made a couple of days ago, and I decided to sort of add a little animation in Unity. And so what Unity is going to be able to do is going to be able to read this information. So each one of these is one of my tracks. So on this track, for instance, it's just a big kick drum. Over here I've got these little percussions. Over here I think I only have like a clap. Yeah, and so these all sort of come together to make the whole music. And then a bit later on there's a little bit of a bass line as well. So that's what we're going to be working with, or that I've been working with. I didn't I made most of this off stream because I was just messing around on my computer, figured I'd finish this up on stream. So this is the scene. So with the renoiser.unity package, what it allows you to do is if you bring in a track, a renoise track, so this is an XRNS file, which is what how renoise saves its files. And basically what an XRNS file is, I'm actually going to open that up and show you what it looks like inside. So it's in downloads and danceMachine.zip. I need to empty this downloads folder one day. So the XRNS file, the way it works is, let me just copy this and rename it. And if I rename it as a zip, you'll see that it is a valid zip file. And so in here we've got sample data, which are all the sounds that are used by the project. But what I'm interested in is this song.xml, and let's see if I can open this up not in Edge, let's open it up. Extract. Let's open it up with Visual Studio Code. And so what this is all of the information that's actually in the track. So we've got like a list of instruments, and a lot of this isn't really interesting for what I'm doing, but the bits that I'm interested in are way down, probably way down. Yeah, it's like you're not supposed to read this by hand, so I'm not actually going to do that today. But what I have been doing is generating a prefab. So when I import an XRNS file, it imports the prefab. What's important is my plugin does not know how to read the music, it just knows what notes are being played at what time. That's all it knows. And oh, if there are no tempo changes, I didn't create it to understand anything like tempo manipulation, it just reads everything at a static tempo. So you need to import the music separately, so you just go into Renoise, export your song, and then save the file and put them both in your Unity project. And so I have the XRNS, it generates a prefab, and then I also have the music next to it. And what this prefab does is it's got this song singer object on it. So I do give it the source itself, so the song itself, so it's able to read the renoise data, but in time with the music itself, because the music will be playing. And so this allows you to pause the music or start playing it whenever you want, and the song singer will understand what's going on. And the song singer has all of the information in the project. So here are all the tracks. So you see clap, perks, glitchy beats, kick and bass. Clap, perks, glitchy perks, kick and bass. And those just have a name, that's what they have. Then there's a pattern pool. And this is because of how Renoise decides things. So if we look over here, each one of these things is a pattern. And so these are all sort of saved separately. And so each one of these is like a thing from the pattern pool. And then we have the pattern sequence, which are these sections here. They're all untitled sections because I didn't give them names. I could have sort of popped in here and sort of added section names. Didn't do that today. And so these contain information as to what patterns are being placed, and the patterns themselves have information as to what instruments are being played at what note. And so this just needs to live in your project, so you just need to have the prefab loaded into your scene, and then the music playing as well. I think music is on Bop here. Yeah, this audio source here. This Bop script I'm not using anymore. That was just a thing I made real quick just to test things out. And so here I have lots of these things like event to the beat, and you'll see some more of those, and I'll show you those in a minute. And so actually no, I'll show you event to the beat straight away. This is sort of the more technical side. And so what Song Stringer allows you to do is, so you get some information quite easily, like for instance, beat time. And so that's a number that goes from, those basically counts, 0, 1, 2, or what beat you're on, but it's also a floating point number, so if the beat time is something 0.25, you know that you're 1/4 of the way from the previous beat to the next beat. So this allows you to sort of animate things on the beat by taking a modulo, which is what I'm doing here, modulo 1, which means this number is always between 0 and 1. And so 0 is when the beat's just started, and 1 is when the beat's just ended, and everything else between. So that allows you to sort of create animations on the beat. And event to the beat, which is really badly named, allows you to create Unity events which get triggered when different beats play. That's in the Unity package. Yeah. So the Unity package isn't quite complete. I've made some tweaks. I might upload a new version later. I might make this better if people are interested. Right now it's just the thing that I use to make these little animations. Let's have a look at the little animation and hope it doesn't absolutely kill my GPU with the capture running. We'll see. It is running. And then it loops over again. So that's the animation so far. I think Unity just crashed. Yeah. Okay. So I know why that's happening. Because I put a few too many animated Clixels things in the scene. So I do have an idea of how I'm going to reduce that. But first I'm going to show you what Clixels is. So that was the renoise animation bit. And so here's the Clixels bit. So I'm going to get rid of a few of these for now. Body and gear. I can probably get rid of the, which one's the room? This is the room. Move that up here, and I'll get rid of this room. I don't need that one anymore. Don't need that anymore either. What's the holder for? I don't need that. So let me just get rid of these so I can show you a bit closer what Clixels is all about. So this is my character's head, and this is how the head is put together. So I'll talk a bit more about the hierarchy in a minute. So here's how Clixels works. There are like these objects. So this is a sphere. And then you modify it with other things. So I've got this little cylinder for the nose. Then I've got these cubes, and these cubes are set to a negative blend, which actually means that they get rid of bits. So that's how I shaped the character's head. So if I get rid of these cubes, for instance, the character's head is now like a complete sphere. It's squished a bit because there's some scaling on it. But to make the character's head look more like a head, I added these little cubes, so I could potentially make the head like skinnier by moving these cubes in, or fatter by moving the cubes out. And there's a cube at the back as well to sort of give that little curve. The blend value sort of creates a radius around the shape. So if I set this to like minus 0.01, you'll see that it's a very sort of sharp shape at the back, like that. Whereas with the value I had it at before, 0.6, it's a sort of softer shape. And you can make this like -2, and it's a very soft shape now. So that's how that works. And so there's just a bunch of these clay source primitives. So the eyes are these spheres. There's 2 of those. I added these clay source. So these are just painters. So these don't actually have any volume to them, or don't change the geometry, but they do change the color. And so that's how I made the eyes, and they're connected to this object here. And this allows me to sort of animate where the eyes are looking. The brows are also little cylinders, which I can use to animate where the character's brows are. And so I'll talk a bit more about the hierarchy in a minute. The mouth is kind of complicated. I'll show you why it's complicated. Let me deactivate a bunch of these scripts, and we can... Don't think there are any... There's a rotator on this as well. Actually, we can keep that rotator, I think. Okay, let's see what happens. Oh, the headset's still animated. Hang on. Okay. I'm going to turn the sound off as well, just so I can talk about this. So I added a bunch of things for like emotions. So the character can smile, the character can do one of these sort of grimaces, it can do one of these, and it can do this as well. And so that's why I've got these strange hierarchies going on. So it's allowing me to animate these different elements. So for instance, in here we have the character's tongue. That's the character's tongue right there. And it's connected to this game object, which is on this rotation emotes. And the way that works is when I increase this, it increases this value here, which offsets where the, like how the tongue is oriented. Can I, I can have both at the same time. Let me log this one in and create a new add tab inspector. Add a new inspector over here. So this is the head inspector, which is going to allow me to mess with these. Okay, and if I go onto this clay curve, you can see that the rotation is going to change when I do this. Oh, this one here, because they're animated together. And there's a whole bunch of these. So for instance, the mouth, this is the smile, and it's an object that sort of comes in and opens the mouth. What's this one? There's just a, what is that? Oh, it's the teeth. These are the teeth. And this is the other part of the mouth, which opens wide when the character does these animations like this. So yeah, that's the that's how this is animated. The brows also do the same thing. So if you have a look at the end, the brows have, where are they? There we go, rotation emotes and position emotes. So same thing when I go open. Open doesn't have, okay, wide does. And so it's going to change the position, rotation, and scale of the object for the brows, for the ooh, and for the ah. Cool. So that's what's really nice about Claxels, is that it kind of behaves a bit like clay, but you can also sort of animate it dynamically in game. There's some really nice examples on the Claxels website of people using it to. There's a video of somebody made like a shooter, and when you shoot the characters, like chunks of the character will be blown out, because the way you can just like remove a chunk from the character would just be to add, so to just add a clay, make it, for instance, a sphere. Let's give it a bit of a smaller size, and then give it like a bit of a gruesome red color, and And you could just go like, let's move it here for instance, and blend it to like minus 0.2, and now you can just sort of blow a chunk out of your character. That's a bit gruesome, but yeah. So that's what you can do with Clakesaws. So yeah, so if you wanted to have like a gruesome damage system where bits of zombie get chunked and blown off, that's something you can do with Clakesaws. So if I reset these animated bits, I'm going to remove this tab and undo that. I just need to put these bobs back on, and rotators, and there's also the one on the headset as well. And I think we're going to have all the animation back. Yes. So that's all the animation of the head. And so I've made this into separate parts just to make things easier. So there's the head, there is the body, which looks a bit gruesome when the head's missing, but it's there. And so there's the body. And there is also the gear, which are these turntables, and they're also animated with Clakesaws. This is the bit that I'm actually going to simplify because these don't. I can use another feature of Clakesaws to make this run better. It'll take a bit of work breaking it all up, but this is actually using Clakesaws suboptimally. Because if you notice here, apart from these two cables here, I'm not actually using the strength of Clakesaws, which are all these like nice deformations. So real quick, just to show how things are working here as well, especially the body. If you notice, the body has it has a bunch of bits that are connected to the head. But I'm not sure what I'm showing with my hands here, but it has the cable connects to the head and the arm connects to the head as well. But also the hand here connects to the turntables. And so let me just save the scene and play and hope it doesn't crash. But if you notice, the hand is actually sort of following the turntable as it moves up and down, and the hand here also follows the head as it moves around. Don't crash, thank you. So the way I did that is, so for instance, this is the hand that's up here. And so this hand here is like the, wait, hang on, where did the, that's that B curve. That's the neck B curve. There's a lot of these. Let me, yeah, this is a bit that I can't quite remember how I built this. Because I got the same problem with the DJ hand as well, if I move that around. Okay, this one moves the whole hand. So I can actually move the whole DJ hand around together. I'm not sure I can't move the headset hand. I can move the hand, but it's not moving the arm. Oh, is that because it's in the head? Headset. It's the cable. Didn't edit one of these today, no. Probably just looking for like a random game object. I should have made this better. Oh, it's going to be in here. There we go. Here it is. Here's the arm. And so this is the arm itself with this B curve that's not used anymore, and this B curve, which is actually the arm here. And so this connects from to this headset and this headset. Okay. Yeah, so this actually should be, this instead should be on the hand itself. Cool. Let me just check it and do something stupid. I did something stupid. That's why. I need a second to. So this is a bit of one of the difficulties I had with this project. I'll show you real quick. Here you know what I'll do? I'll just create a new scene and I'll show you one of the issues I have with working with pixels. It's not a big issue, but it does make things a bit weird. So I add some clay to this scene. So the way you animate things normally is you create a hierarchy of where things should move. The problem is that Claxels does things in a set order, and it's what order they appear in, not in the branching of the hierarchy, but in like where they appear. So for instance, if I create a bit of a hierarchy here with like 2 objects in here, there you go, and then another object here that also has 2 objects in it. So let me just get that out of the way. So put this in here. Okay, so this hierarchy, I've got A, A1, and B1. Oh, sorry, A2. And here I'm going to have B, B1, and B2. The way normally you'd animate things is that A1 and A2 sort of belong to A, and B1 and B2 belong to B. But you'll calculate all of this, and then you'd calculate all of this. But the way Claxels does it is it does things in order. I'm having trouble explaining my problem. Yeah, whatever. I'll explain it later, I guess. I'm not sure really how to explain it, but anyway, I was having a bit of trouble getting things sort of animating together properly. Just because of like ordering things and making things all sort of like depend on each other. So the way I've got it set up is I have a bunch of these lock, pause, rot scripts which literally just lock an object to another one. So it just takes the position and rotation of an object and applies it back. So this anchor is locked to this thing that's on the gear. And the reason that's like that is so that when this turntable moves around, this hand will move with it. I guess I just sort of made things complicated for myself, but whatever. Yeah, and so this is why there's all these hierarchies. So it allows me to sort of do things like rotate the hand around and things sort of rotate properly. Here's the hand model itself. And then these 2s are often because of how the curves work in Claxels. And the way I've done that is, let me see if I've got a curve somewhere. Oh yeah, okay, they're on here, isn't it? That's the neck one. Okay, so I should name these properly. So those are the legs, this is the arm. And so the way these curves actually work is I've got the clay B curve, and what I'm doing is I'm placing it between this object and then whatever object I've referred to as 2. and that places this curve in the right place. So if I move the 2 around, it moves the curve, and if I move the game object itself around, it moves this part of the curve. So yeah, the curve itself is just a random object placed here. So the bendiness of the curve is this y parameter. Cool. So yeah, that's most of how this is built. So what I'm going to do now, because if we look at the performance in game, so Clixels is, if we don't animate anything, it's really quick. But as soon as you move anything, it has to recalculate where things are, and that gets really costly. And so I'm having a bit of trouble with that. And notably, if I just get rid of the gear, for instance, if I just remove that clay object, oops, not the clay object, gear, clay container. So I just remove the rendering of the gear. Here are my stats, my FPS when it plays. Yeah, it's a nice comfortable 70, 80 FPS. But as soon as I put that back, I drop down to like 30 FPS because there's just too many things moving on screen at the same time. But the thing is with the turntables, just get rid of the head and the body for a minute. With the turntables, they're not actually doing the things that I'm doing with Clixels. So, like the head, for instance, the mouth is actually like using Clixels the way it's sort of with what it's good at. So this cylinder, for instance, I'm changing the geometry and sort of creating this nice sort of animation. But with the turntable, all I'm doing is just moving solids around because I don't want the turntable to sort of flex in the same way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate this out, and so I'm not actually going to be moving Clixels anymore. So Clixels actually has this thing where you can just freeze to mesh, and so when I've done this, this is now just one big mesh, but now I can't move these around anymore because it's been sort of calculated and frozen into place. So if I play it like this, I get an error. What? See what happens. Do I need the head and the body for this all to make? No, I'm not sure what happened there, sorry. Hello, computer. Unity crashed. So I think Clixels uses quite a bit of my GPU processing power, and that does make things a bit unstable. Okay, so this works again, but if I freeze this to a mesh and press play, there, so the turntables don't move anymore because they're not animated. But what I could do is, defrosted. Okay, what I could do instead is take all of these bits. Hello. There we go. And sort of separate them out into separate meshes. And so then I'll only have these two little curves left, and I might be able to just add those separately. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to split it out. So there's the table, which is the thing down here, that could just be rendered out straight away. So I'm just going to Control D this, Oh. It's still streaming. Okay, if it's still streaming, I'm just going to leave it streaming then, because that's what I wanted to do. Can I just sort of hide this? Okay, put this down here. Okay, cool. Oh dear. Okay, can I think this is using too much memory. Is it? Let's see what happens. Okay, I'm just going to hide the head and the body for now. Control D the gear. Yay. Okay. And so in this one I'm going to get rid of all of this stuff, except for the table, and then freeze this to a mesh, and then on the gear I can get rid of the table. So that's the first bit of what I wanted to do. And so I'm just going to keep doing that kind of thing. So the next bit is this mixer in the middle here. And so yeah, let's just do this. Going to get rid of the... Is there anything attached to the mixer? There's the two cables. The two cables, where are they? They're on the turntables themselves? No, they're on the mixer. So I'm going to keep the structure of this mixer, but I'm not going to keep the yeah, let's just keep the structure of this by removing that clay container completely. Yeah, I guess that's how I'm going to do it. Get rid of these two turntables for now. These two curves I'm going to keep, I guess. Wait, these curves are connected to this mixer, aren't they? Are they? Can I put the turntables back? Cool. Yeah, they are. Okay, so I can get rid of this mixer. Cool. And so here, what I want to keep are the things that the cables are connected to. So I just need to find the cables, which are on the mixer itself. It's these two game objects. So I just need to keep this. Oh, they're going to be animated by the turntable itself. Yeesh. Okay. I know how I'm going to do this. Do I? Do I know how I'm going to do this? I'm just going to put the cables in later. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of the cables for now. And I'll put the cables in later. So I can hide this for now. Control D that. And so what's connected to this other than that? It's going to be the cable to the body and the hand. So I just need to keep those animations working. And that's all I need to do. So these two turntables are independent of the mixer, and it's independent of the table itself. And so this is only animated by this bob and this rotator. So what I can do, if I'm smart, is freeze this to a mesh. So I've got my mesh. Then Control D that, get rid of the clay container completely. Yeah, get rid of that. And then I can get rid of, I'm going to keep those in case I need to change what the mixer looks like. And in here, all I want is the structure, and I can get rid of all of this and put this in here. That should work, right? So there's no mesh filter there. Tuck, tuck, tuck. And then this is the actual like clay source thing. And then I want to get rid of the animators on this one. So get rid of this Bob script. Get rid of this game object rotator. And so this I can now defrost if I want to change things around. So if I want to change, for instance, the shape of the object, I can do that. But then I can freeze it. And then I can press play, and this should still move the way it does in the scene. Yes, great. That's actually pretty cool. So that's what I'm going to do for a whole bunch of these objects in the scene. So this is now the mixer. And I'm going to call this one Bob. Rotator. And then call this clay. And so now I have my structure back. And in fact, I can move. Okay, so the cable 2, I want to keep that because that's where the animation of the cable connects to. And then this is all the clay for the thing. So I can just take this stuff and put it straight onto the clay. And it should all work the way it did before. So if I defrost, yeah, cool. So this all works the way it did before. And that makes things a lot easier to work with. Next, the turntables. So I'm going to Control D this. Turn on this clay container. I can get rid of the mixer from here because I don't need it anymore. Okay, you know what? Real quick, I'm just going to do the table. Freeze to mesh. Table. I can get rid of the table everywhere else. So that's just the table underneath. Now there are these two turntables. And so I'm going to do turntable 1 first. So hide this one. And this one I'm going to delete turntable 2 because I'm just going to be dealing with turntable 1. So the turntable is actually a bit more complicated because I animate. So I do the same thing I do with the mixer. This Bob script makes it move up and down like this. And then this rotator script gives it sort of these random rotations, which all add up to that, can I save my scene? Yeah. Which all add up to that fun animation we get when it plays, if it's going to play. Yeah, see how like the disc sort of jumps up of the turntable, the disc is spinning, and then this is, the arm is also bouncing around on the thing as well. So if I get rid of this Bob, it sort of stays where it is. If I get rid of this rotator, it stays its orientation. And then this is the disc, which is rotating. So this is the rotation of the disc. And then that also has a Bob, which makes it bounce up and down. And then the arm is over here somewhere, and that's this Bob here. Oh, actually there are two Bobs. One of them, I'll show the two. One of them makes it goes left and right. I can probably get rid of that, to be honest. And the one makes it jump up and down. But these are all sort of solid-ish objects. They're not intersecting interesting ways. They're not doing like the things with the the clay source. So I can probably just simplify this all down. But what I need to do is to have all the turntable arm in one object, the disk in another, sorry, the body in one object, the disk in another, and then this arm in another. So let's separate this out. So this is going to be turntable, actually, what did I say? There are 3 objects. Body, disk, and arm. So if I hide the record and the turntable arm, so I want to get rid of everything except for the record and the turntable arm here. What's this? That's the disk. Delete it. What's this? That's all of the arm, so I actually want to keep all of that. This is the bit I want to get rid of. Yep. So that's the turntable body. And so now I'm going to do the same thing I did with the mixer. So if we look here, the turntable has a bob and a rotator. And we're actually going to be able to do some smart things with the record. So actually I'm going to keep the things. Yeah, I can do this smarter. So this is the record, which contains all of the things for the record in here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm only going to get rid of the clay. And I'm going to call this record. Oh yeah, I can do this real quick. So now I just turn this clay container back on. Reload it. In this one I'm going to get rid of everything. I'm just going to take that. Get rid of those. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. So this record is just a record now. Yes, cool. Freeze to mesh. And table. Yeah, take all of this. Okay, I'm going to put that in a new game object. Call it record clay. Move that up to here. Get rid of all that. Actually, I can just put that straight up there. Oh, yes. Cool, cool, cool. So that's the record. Okay, yeah, I know how I'm doing this now. And so that's going to go there. This is not going to have clay on it. This one is going to be... Wait, hang on. Did I do something silly here? I did. Damn it. For some reason, when I take this and I put it straight there, it loses the paint. Why does it lose the paint? Okay, whatever. Doesn't matter. So that's the record, and this record clay, which is now frozen, connects here. And so if I turn this back on, I can get rid of this. Can I? Oh no, because this is picking up the clay from here. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so this is going to literally have to have no clay on it at all when we get to it at the end. Yeah, I think I figured it out. It's a bit of a weird one, but it should be fine. So, turn off the clay container, but I can move this now into here. And then this should be animated the way it's animated normally. Let's just check there are no animations on this. No, they're all not animated. Save the scene as it is, press play. Okay, so the record is still working the way it used to. Okay, so that works. So now the same thing for the arm, which is this thing here. The arm is this bit, if I'm not mistaken. So that's the whole arm. I just want this bit. Let me scroll. Let's turn off the turntable body. And turn on the turntable arm. So the arm is going to want only this bit. Yes, cool. So similar idea. These are the animated bits, and this is just the model of the arm. So that's the model of the arm here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create empty, call it arm, and then attach all of these to that. So that's just the arm. And then put this at the root. Get rid of everything else inside the turntable. Freeze it. Turn on the turntable body. Not the clay container for the turntable body. This is the arm with the objects inside it. Get rid of those and put this turntable arm instead. I think that works. Okay, let me save that. Oops. Put that back in. Save that. Press play. This is getting silly. Yay, it's actually doing what I expected it to do. Cool. Okay, and so the last bit is actually taking the turntable body itself and just separating that out. No, that's a bit of a silly way of doing it, but okay. Whatevs. So let me just get rid of that object. Get rid of the record clay. Get rid of the arm clay. And turn on the clay here. So that's just the record, the turntable body. And so, same thing, this all has like complicated structure, but what I want is just to move these cubes out. So I'm just going to create empty. Call it turntable clay. And this is made of this cube, this cylinder, okay, that's all nothing. Okay, this cylinder here. Cool. Freeze that to a mesh. Turn this turntable body back on, and where the turntable is, it's just that rotator. So I can just put the turntable body here and get rid of all of the clay it doesn't need. So this is a stack of transforms. I might need them. I don't know if I do or not, but that's not important. What is important is that this clay container no longer exists. And in here, this clay container is frosted. Yep, that's frosted. This one is frosted. And this one is frosted. And if I save that all down, press play, it behaves the way it did before, which is what I wanted. Save that. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to copy this turntable and duplicate it over, because I can't be bothered doing the whole thing all over again for the second turntable. That was turntable 1. So what I can do is just control this turntable, move it over to where the other one is, and just apply the differences. So the difference here is that the arm is rotated differently. I think it's this bit of the arm, yeah. The arm is rotated differently on the y-axis. Like that. Freeze that back down. And the record is different, and that's just on the record itself. I think it's the record. Yeah, the paint is different essentially. So if I turn this turntable off, that's the paint for this turntable. So I just want to move this paint over. And these are all they're all placed according to this record, but this record has a 0, 0, 0 position. So what I can do is move it over. So that's the thing, this is the record. Cool. So, what is it over there? Did I do something really silly? That's this record. That's a pink record, isn't it? Oh, hang on. I know why. Because it's frosted. There we go. Okay, cool. So move this one over here. Get rid of this one. And then move this to a 0 position. No, why not? Okay, I'm just going to do it that way. Cool. Get rid of these. Take these. Put them there. How about put them there? Okay, I've got the same bug that I had before, but that's fine. Freeze to mesh. So this should be the same as gear 2 now. Turntable 2. Except that the animations are different. So I just need to set these back in. It's because the offset's a bit different, and that's a bit on purpose. So I need to copy this, paste it here, print values. There's a second bob here, copy component. What's this based on? Well, there's just an empty game object. I guess that's useful for, oh, it's for the DJ hand. Yeah, need that. This is the whole turntable. So that's the body. And that's going to be, yeah, okay, so that's going to be most of the body itself. That doesn't actually have any attachments to it, but I think the record might. No, it doesn't. It uses this this hand attach, but that does mean I need to get this bob, and I need to get rid of the rotate to the beat. So this one has a rotate to the beat, which I need to deactivate, and then I need to take this one's bob and apply it to this one. Slightly different values, and inside there are no animations. Cool. And then the arm itself has a slightly different animation as well, which I can pick up from these two, which are going to be these two. Copy component, paste component values. Okay, I had the same values. Copy component, paste component values. So if I did all that correctly, I can get rid of this gear. This turntable body shouldn't have any, doesn't need a renderer, doesn't need emotions because it doesn't use that. That's just anchors. This clay container is frosted. This record is frosted. Yep. And then this arm is also frosted. Let's see if that worked. So I'm just going to save that, and then I'm going to, ooh, scene takes a bit of a while to save. Turn on these two objects, and this one as well. Save all that out, press play, and these should animate the way they used to before. And that they do. I'm actually pretty happy with that because that was a bit of an annoying one. So now what I can do is I'm not going to get rid of gear immediately, but I can turn the body and the head back on. And so what needs to happen now is I just need to grab where the cables connect. So this, the cable in the hand. So the DJ hand used to be connected to the turntable. So a game object that's on the turntable, and that's that anchor thing. So it's going to be here. It's going to be this hand attach. So that's now going to be attached to hand attach. And then there's the earpiece curve as well, which, okay, that's connected to the head, so that's fine. Okay, that is the curve itself. That's the hips and the leg. Where does the cable attach to? Can I find references? No. Can only find references like reversely, so from objects that are down here, which is kind of annoying. Oh wait, that's actually in the head because it's connected from the headset, if I remember correctly. There it is, that's the cable. So the cable 2 used to connect to this object here, and this object just needs to be moved to the mixer after the rotator. Oh, the cable 2 is down here as well. Okay, cool. So I can just do that straight away. So cable now connects to this cable 2. So the gear is all off. Control save that. Moment of truth. Does everything animate the way it used to? Yes, it does. The cable is now still following the mixer down here. And the hand is still following the record. Yes. And I didn't check the stats, but I think my frame rate should be much higher now. Yeah, see, we're at 70 FPS to 60 FPS. Okay. Still a bit less than when we didn't have these things at all, but it is significantly better. So the only thing that's left is just to put those two little curves back, little cables, which, so let me just activate those now, activate the gear again. Did I just delete the cables? I did, didn't I? Let me go ahead and... Did I delete the things that the cables were connected to? I did. Damn it. Is that my backup scene? No. Well, I guess I'll just put that back again. So delete that gear. Actually, no, I can keep the whole gear, actually. I need the gear. remove everything that's in it though. Put the gear back on, delete everything that's in it. And so this is just going to be cables, and it doesn't need to be this big anymore. And so in there are just going to be two curves, so two B curves. So type B curve, make it black, and they're going to connect from the turntable to the mixer or the other way around. We'll see. So let's turn on the mixer and turntable 1 and grab that B curve and move it into position. So we've got an idea of what we're building. Actually, no, we don't want to rotate that. That's going to be rotated by the script. So let's just add an empty for that. And this is going to be TT1 cable, curve 2. The curve is going to be this curve, and what it's connecting to is going to be a point on the turntable body. And so now we can move this into position, like here, and rotate that. Okay, we'll figure that out in a minute. And then this cable goes like here-ish. Okay. That, and the curve itself is going to be a bit smaller. Okay. I think this needs to be like centered here to give it lots of room. Like that, and then the slide allows me to put it where I want it. Cool. Let's save and test. Yeah, the cables are sort of working the way they should. It's a bit of a lag on it, I'm not sure why. Figure that out later. So I need a second curve. I need another mixer cable to on the other turntable. And it's connected to what? To the turntable body. Except this one's going to be like here, and then there's the other cable, so it's going to use this curve, and this mixer cable too, and it's going to be like here. Cool. I'm not sure why this is so laggy though. We'll figure that out in a minute. So this cables actually needs to be a cables again. I can make the chunk size. Oh no, it doesn't really matter, does it? Because this still is the same number of objects. What is interesting though, and it's kind of hard to see, so I kind of need to put it in wireframe mode. Yeah, that cube kind of surrounds it all. I can move this to like here-ish. Oh no, this need to be bigger. 6? 6 is big enough. Cool. Turn the table back on, put ourselves back into not isometric view. Okay, so the reason we went ahead and did all that was so that these weren't no longer being sort of recalculated all the time by pixels. And it makes everything run quicker. Kinda, not really. Damn it. Is it being recalculated anyway? I hope not. Can I deactivate? I can deactivate the containers. Okay, let me do that. See if that helps. Don't feel like it helps much. It's a bit annoying. Is it the cables that are taking up so much, like, performance? I think I'm sort of saturating, like, how much. I guess I'll figure that out later. Cables are back, and the room could be back as well. Oh. So, I guess that wasn't as fun as it could have been. I spent a lot of time not doing anything, just semi-optimizing this. Tomorrow, I think I'll get back into this tomorrow. What I'm going to do is I need to fill up this bookcase with books. I want to put like 2 speakers behind the character, make them sort of pulse with the beat as well, and then I'll be adding like the extra animations in. Oh yeah, and I need to add in the fact that the character's face is supposed to like do these cool things when the music happens. So if you do the music I can like. And I kind of want these animations to like be driven by what's happening in the music. I'll get into that tomorrow. For now, thanks for watching if you have been, and